Italy is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, and for good reason. It's home to stunning landscapes, rich history, and some of the best food and wine you'll ever taste. But with great popularity comes great challenges, as many of Italy's most iconic cities and regions are struggling to cope with the influx of visitors. In this video, we'll explore the top 5 places in Italy that are facing the biggest problems from over-tourism, and discuss how tourists can help be part of the solution. Let's start with the famous floating city of Venice. With its romantic canals, historic architecture, and charming ambiance, Venice has long been a bucket list destination for travelers from around the globe. But the city's small size and fragile infrastructure simply can't handle the staggering 30 million visitors it receives each year. Locals are being priced out of their own city, public spaces are overcrowded, and the city's delicate ecosystem is suffering from the environmental impacts. The Italian government has tried implementing measures like limiting cruise ship access and banning new hotels, but Venice's over-tourism problem remains one of the most severe in the country. If you want to visit Venice, be mindful of your impact. Go during the off-season if possible, use public transport, and support local businesses rather than tourist traps. Next up is the stunning Renaissance city of Florence. Home to iconic landmarks like the Duomo and the Uffizi Gallery, Florence draws over 16 million visitors annually, far more than its narrow streets and historic buildings can comfortably accommodate. The sheer volume of tourists has led to overcrowding, damage to historic sites, and skyrocketing housing prices that are pricing out local residents. The Florentine government has responded with measures like limiting visitor access to certain areas and cracking down on short-term vacation rentals, but it's an ongoing challenge. If you plan to visit Florence, try to go during shoulder season, use public transportation, and seek out experiences that immerse you in the local culture rather than just the major tourist sites. As the capital of Italy and one of the most historically significant cities in the world, Rome faces an enormous burden from over-tourism. With iconic landmarks like the Colosseum, the Trevi Fountain, and the Vatican, Rome attracts over 10 million visitors each year, far more than its roads, public services, and historic sites can comfortably handle. The influx of tourists has led to issues like overcrowding, litter, and the commercialization of local culture. Rome's government has experimented with measures like restricting access to certain landmarks and imposing fines for poor tourist behavior. But the sheer scale of the problem is daunting. If you visit Rome, be a considerate tourist, use public transport, avoid peak hours at major sites, and seek out authentic local experiences to minimize your impact. The picturesque villages of Cinque Terre on Italy's northern coast have become a major victim of their own beauty and popularity. The dramatic cliffside towns and stunning ocean vistas draw over 2.5 million visitors per year, far more than the fragile hiking trails and limited infrastructure can accommodate. Over-tourism has led to damage to the environment, overcrowding on the trails, and a loss of traditional local culture. Authorities have tried restricting visitor access and hiking permits, but it remains a challenge. If you want to visit Cinque Terre, go in the off-season, use the train system instead of driving, and be mindful of your ecological footprint as you explore this stunning but delicate region. Our final over-tourism hotspot in Italy is the island of Capri. With its rugged coastal beauty, designer boutiques, and celebrity appeal, Capri has become a magnet for wealthy tourists and day trippers. The island's small size and limited infrastructure simply can't handle the over 1 million visitors it receives each year, leading to issues like overcrowded beaches, traffic jams, and skyrocketing prices. Local authorities have implemented various measures, from limiting the number of cruise ship passengers to banning certain types of vehicles. But it's an ongoing battle to balance Capri's tourism-dependent economy with the need to preserve the island's natural charm and quality of life for residents. If you visit Capri, be prepared to pay premium prices, use public transport when possible, and seek out lesser-known corners of the island to avoid the worst of the crowds. As you can see, over-tourism is a major challenge facing many of Italy's most iconic destinations. Local governments are working hard to find the right balance between supporting the vital tourism industry and preserving the character and livability of these special places. But as visitors, We all have a role to play in being more mindful and responsible travelers. By visiting during shoulder seasons, using public transportation, and seeking out authentic local experiences, we can help reduce the strain on these beautiful Italian cities and towns.